Hello everyone, my name is Caden Chan, and the title of my speech is The Ruptures of Integration. My speech is about the faults in U.S. immigration policies that don't allow people to have access to their basic human rights. Immigration has always been an ongoing issue in the United States since before the United States even became the United States. As we have seen time and time again, immigration policies have never given immigrants the rights that they deserve, and within all the information that I have received, there is much that can be done about this ongoing issue. The topic of U.S. immigration and its policies especially is extensive, but we will focus on specific points and proceed with a proper solution. First, I'll describe the problem. U.S. immigration policies require reformation. Although the policies are ever-changing, especially today in 2022, they can still restrict immigrants a lot even in their times of dire need. Some of the earliest signs of immigration that we've seen in the United States was when colonizers came over looking for power and land. That was their need at the time. Today, the reasoning for immigration has drastically changed, though, whether it's limited resources, natural disasters, or to escape from war. The main reason for immigration is survival in today's society. It is extremely difficult, especially in other countries where war is never ending and they don't have policies in a place to help prevent it. The United States has pull factors, which are elements that attract people to the place, and one of the most common pull factors are work opportunities and access to adequate health care and education. If we take a look at education in Honduras and contrast to the United States, we see a difference in repetition rates, scores, opportunities, and teachers. Almost 1 in 3 children in Honduras and El Salvador drops out of school before completing secondary school. The children's scores are often low in their public education system, and the teachers' unions are also highly politicized. Unfortunately, Honduras is highly affected by violence, which causes this lack of a proper education. High crime rates are a large reason why people immigrate, as safety is the number one priority, and if they have children, that priority is definitely heightened. There's constant war and defiance of laws in many other countries. The policing system can often be influenced by wars. This makes it difficult for there to be a proper police system within the country to enforce laws. If we still take the comparison of Honduras versus the United States, we can see such drastic contrast in the homicide rate. Honduras is still one of the most violent places in the world, with a homicide rate of 44.7 per 100,000 in 2019. This means that an average of 13 people are murdered every single day. Sometimes the war on the country is due to Mother Nature. Natural disasters affect many different countries and can have immense consequences. These are unforeseen circumstances that can destroy homes and lives. The lack of resources during a natural disaster is a reality that many may have to face, and sometimes they have faced the fear that they may not make it to the next day. There are many different solutions to this issue, but it is extremely dependent on each individual. Being properly educated in immigration is a huge first step to helping this issue. Calling on lawmakers to take better action is another step, and the main action that people can do is to donate something. By looking at current U.S. immigration policies and knowing which policies are in place is a great way to know how the immigration system works within the U.S. avoiding stereotypes of immigrations, allowing us to have a neutral bias when working with these people. Being neutral and knowing how the system works allows us to be educated and look at possible flaws that we can then point out to lawmakers. Sometimes these flaws can be detrimental to the people that are immigrating. It can cause a loss of basic human rights. Calling out all the flaws publicly and directly to the lawmakers can have a huge effect on how the policies are actually viewed. Donations don't always have to be money. Although money is extremely helpful for many different resources, individuals can donate time and other physical items as well. There's an organization called Room for Refugees, which is an organization that you would work directly with to offer you a home to a refugee, and there are families with children that are currently staying in insecure housing such communities or even are homeless. Offering a spare room or property to give a temporary home to someone will greatly change their life. To believe that immigration is a wrong decision, that we should not help them, can be an opinion, and that many people may hold. Although in the question of morality and ethics, we tend to do what we believe should align our values. Every human has basic human rights no matter where or what they're in. To deprive someone of their basic human rights is wrong and could create many barriers that move us back as a progressive society. Human rights include the right to life, liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, and many more. Everyone is entitled to these rights without discrimination. After seeing all these possible solutions, we'll be able to see a better future. We tend to say we imagine a world without peace, but what if we could actually imagine it? A world where we don't have to constantly fight stereotypes or bias, or where we don't see violence on a day-to-day basis. A world where the news has something positive in it instead of something constantly hunting down a negative story for people to consume. Now, a world without that would look terrible, but it still looks like a little bit today. Immigration at the beginning, starting with the colonizers, is what moved us forward as a society, but also created terrible barriers. To be in a world without peace and instead filled with bias and doesn't allow us to progress towards peace. We all individually have to take little steps to work towards this proper goal that we'd hope as long as we stay properly educated, we can then call our lawmakers to make sure these policies allow proper rights. We each donate what we have, whether it's time, money, or certain resources to help move us forward. This is an ongoing issue that we have been fighting for many decades, and it's something that has many solutions to it, and something that many people are fighting drastically for. As long as we keep fighting for it and keep it current, there will be changes to come.